Hello everyone and welcome to the fifth episode. Today we're going to learn what are game objects and what are components. So first of all, a game object is only a container for all of the components. For example, let's make a new game object. Let's make a 3D object which is a cube, so that we can understand easier what transform is. So first of all, a game object has these fields by themselves, which is the name, if it's active or not, and if the object is static, meaning that it won't move, rotate or scale. And there is also the tag, the layer, and it also has a transform, which is basically the position, the rotation, and the scale. You cannot remove the transform component, but you can add and remove the other ones. So components are basically the functional part of the game object. They have fields that we can edit, and there are either components made by the Unity editor, which are these ones that you have by default, and you can have components that are made by the scripts, like for example right here, scripts, testing script. And you can also have components made by the packages that we can install later on. So first of all, let's go here and add a light component. As you can see, my lights are really weird. I think this is because of the forward plus rendering. So what we want to do is go into settings, PC renderer, and change rendering path to deferred. Deferred allows more than 8 lights at a time, which is perfect. Forward plus allows the same, but it has a limit and it's not good. Well, other than that, I would suggest we delete the mobile part because we don't need them. Let's also remove the volume and remove this from here. Now that we have this, the light works as it should be. We can increase the intensity, for example. We can change the color of the light. We can change the range so that it affects farther apart if it has enough intensity to reach. And we can also have shadows so that they can interact with the other objects. Control D to duplicate. As you can see, the light goes through the object, so we will go soft shadows. There is an issue with shadow atlas, so to fix that we go here. So let's do 8000 and 8000, and let's make this 8 and 128 256 512. That should work just fine, and Unity shouldn't complain about issues like that. Yeah, that's the basics of the component. There is a lot of things you can do with them, and they are the most important part, as well as the game objects, as the game objects hold the components and the components do the logic of the game objects. And that is all for the tutorial. See you in the next one. Bye bye.